What's up, guys? So I just got done watching episode 10 of Akame Ga Kill, and here's what happened. We start off by watching Tatsumi and Lady Esdeath sitting on a cliff and watching the anti-night raid, or Jaeger force, go after a bunch of rebels. Tatsumi asks why he has to be there to watch it, and Lady Esdeath informs him that he's there as backup, and she also wants him to learn from this. Basically, it's an entirely one-sided fight, and the Jaegers, aka those people at the table from the last episode, just destroy essentially an entire city of rebels. Tatsumi considers helping them or just fleeing, but since Esdeath is right next to him, he pretty much realizes either one of those things will lead to his death. So it's at this point that he comes up with a plan to seduce Esdeath and try to get her on their side. So that night she drags him to her room, takes a shower, comes out half naked, and wants to make a man out of him. Tatsumi dodges the sexy advance and instead decides to start talking to her about the war. He informs her that he feels for the rebels and has considered joining them. He tells her that the way the capital has been running things is wrong and that they shouldn't subjugate the weak just because they're weak. To which Esdeath seems to be confused, taken aback, looking into herself for answers to this very complex question. Chest bucking with you, she slaps him. She explains that the strongest survive and the weakest die, and that's just how it is, but that she'll protect Tatsumi's family if that's what he's worried about. The conversation pretty much goes on like this for a little while, with Tatsumi saying, "I'm going to change you," and her saying, No, I'm gonna change you." So the two get some sleep, and she uses Tatsumi as a body pillow until the next morning when Tatsumi goes into the Jaeger headquarters. There he sees Wave, aka the relatable fisherman hit guy, and the girl looks like Akame. He walks up to her, noticing how much the two do look alike, and sees that she's gorging herself on food much like Akame does, and realizes, hey, there might be some connection here. So he decides to ask her about it, saying that he saw Akame on some wanted posters and that the two look alike. Without any pretense, the girl says, "Yep, I'm Akame's little sister, she's a traitor to this nation, I'm looking to kill her." To which Tatsumi can't really say much, so he just nods. He also gets to connect with Waver a little bit, explaining to him about his situation with Lady Esdeath, to which Waver is actually pretty sympathetic, and it's kind of a cool little connection. Eventually, Lady Esdeath and the rest show up, and she asks everybody if they're in a relationship or married. Everyone remains silent, except for the Gimp. Apparently, he's the only one in a long-lasting committed relationship, and I guess Gimpin will do that? So she starts asking him about how he got his wife to fall in love with him and starts taking notes for Tatsumi because she really wants Tatsumi to fall for her and become essentially her slave boy. But that scene's cut short when Lady Esdeath decides that everybody needs to go start killing danger beasts, which are these big beast things that Tatsumi killed at the very beginning of the series that are just kind of around. She sends Tatsumi and Wave off by themselves in one section and goes with someone else to another, saying that she's gonna meet up with Tatsumi later on that night, and in the evening the two of them will be together. Everyone agrees, and Tatsumi and Wave head out to the mountains. Here the two begin to talk more about their situations and connect a little bit more, when suddenly a bunch of Nightmare Before Christmas looking trees attack. Well, actually they attack Wave, and it kind of looks like Tatsumi's gonna take this advantage to just kill Wave and book, but instead he saves Wave and the two of them go against a small forest of evil trees together. Or so it would seem, because as soon as the battle's over, Tatsumi decides to start booking and uses his arms to summon the Incursio armor thing that Bullet gave him, which helps him run faster through the forest and of course will leave him unnoticed as nobody knows that he has that arms. Now at this point Wave actually starts understanding what's going on and realizes that Lady Esdeath is probably gonna kill him if he doesn't come back with Tatsumi. Now at first he kind of summons this big weird Cyclops golem looking thing behind him and you can't really tell what his arms is. Kinda like what happened on the ship with Tatsumi and the dragon, but then as Tatsumi's running in his decked out suit, we see another blue suit chasing him, and we discover that that's Wave. It turns out that Tatsumi's arms was actually a prototype for his arms, and so he basically has an upgrade of what Tatsumi has. But kind of luckily for Tatsumi, he doesn't recognize him inside the suit and thinks that he's Bullet, because Bullet was on the wanted posters in that suit. So he gives up on his search for Tatsumi and begins chasing who he thinks is a member of the Night Raid, which I mean, yeah, he's right. So he chases him down and begins trying to fight, but the whole time Tatsumi doesn't want to fight, he just wants to get the hell out of there, so he can warn the Night Raid about the Jaeger party. Now the scene goes on for a while with him chasing Tatsumi and Tatsumi almost escaping, then him catching up and catching Tatsumi, then Tatsumi almost escaping again, yada yada yada, until eventually Wave throws him into the river down below. Now we see Tatsumi go under, but we don't see him come back up, and Wave thinks it's because he's using the current to try and get further away from him. So he decides to cut him off and uses his suit to fly way downstream, when in actuality Tatsumi just used his suit to go invisible and crawled his way out of the stream onto the riverbank. Tatsumi's completely spent, having used most of his energy to either fight the beast, run away, or go invisible, and as he reaches the shore, that's when another danger beast shows up. Now at this point Tatsumi doesn't even have the energy to fight, he's laying there just completely worn out, and he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna die. But Akame finally shows up and does something, killing the danger beast and saving Tatsumi. He's astonished and clearly happy to see her face, and the two kind of share this really nice emotional moment. Then Lubbock shows up and ruins the whole entire thing because again, this series is afraid of emotion. So the trio make it out nice and happy and head back to the Night Raid headquarters, where Tatsumi explains to them about the Jaegers and the fact that they're coming for them. Everything seems to kind of end on a high note until we pan out and see that the guy with salt and pepper hair, who I'm just gonna call Styles, I think his name was like Mr. Stylish or something to do with like being a barber or some crap. But anyways, he has some weird kind of anteater looking homunculus guys that are kind of trailing Tatsumi, and he ends up finding the Night Raid headquarters. And that's where our episode ends. Now when I first started watching this episode, I kind of assumed that Tatsumi was going to be with Lady Esdeath for like 4 or 5 episodes, and they were going to develop her character, and maybe she'd slowly kind of turn towards the Night Raid because of him, and it was gonna be like this subtle change. Nope! Instead, they pretty much used Tatsumi's time with Lady Esdeath to show her half naked and show Akame's sister. And that's pretty much all that came of this. I mean, you would think that with Tatsumi kind of being in the enemy's midst, they would use this to develop some of the enemy characters, but no, not at all. Although I will say that I like that he and Wave didn't actually get into a fight, and his whole mindset was to get out of there and warn the Night Raid, because that's kind of realistic. Like, he wants to warn his friends. He doesn't want to waste time fighting. So they did do a good job on that, although Akame showing up and saving him at the last minute was kind of coincidental, even though I know she was keeping an eye on him. But I mean, they can't really get that close to Lady Esdeath without being spotted, so I don't know, it kind of felt a little bit forced. Not to mention that this whole entire episode was way more jokey than serious, and I think this probably would have been a perfect time to insert some seriousness. I mean, like I said, you're in the enemy's midst, you can show some progression with them, and if not, you can just show how evil they are. I mean, Bullet just died. Something serious kind of needs to happen to show where the stakes are, but as of right now, they've just used pretty much the whole entire thing for humor. And I don't know, I'm just not feeling it. So anyways, guys, tell me what you think about this episode in the comments below. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Was it too humorous? Was the pacing good? Anyways, guys, happy holidays and peace!